Welcome to the True Wealth Investors Real Estate Podcast. Creative investing strategies to help you build true wealth. I'm your host, Chad Harris. So why is it that most investors, one, struggle to buy the first rental property, or in my mind, even worse, they buy that one rental property and they stop there. They never buy more rentals. It is very few that actually are successful in building that portfolio. And even if the portfolio is just five houses, getting those five houses will drastically change your financial future. All right. So, why is it people can get so close to accomplishing what will drastically change their future and stop? And in my experience, it comes down to two things. All right. Now, this is the person who's already bought a rental property and they stall at one rental property. And there's really two reasons for that. One, they're structuring deals wrong and they're using their own money in the deal. And that could be the down payment, that could be closing costs, whatever it is, maybe even part of the purchase money, right? It as long as we're using our own money in the deal, we're going to get frustrated. So when you put $30,000 down and then you pay for closing costs, and then maybe you refinance and you're paying money for the refinance, it's going to be frustrating, right? Your life is going to get in the way. If that rental costs you 40,000 of your own money, suddenly you say, I've got kids, I've got vacations, I've got other things going on. I don't know what's going on in the market. All of a sudden, that becomes very risky to put $40,000 into this rental property. And how many of those can you do, right? How long will it take you to save the $40,000 for the next rental property? And so, as long as we're structuring deals that way, we're destined to fail. I know nobody who has built a large portfolio of rentals and used their own money in the deal, deal after deal after deal. Anybody who's ever built a portfolio of rentals learned how to structure deals correctly so that you're not putting money in the deal. All right. So to correctly structure that deal, you're going to use other people's money for the purchase, for the rehab, for closing costs, and that's on the front end as well as the back end. All right. So that's for the purchase side. And if you do the BRRRR strategy and you refinance, that's on the refinance as well. So to successfully do a deal that you can scale, you need to not have your own money in the deal. Now, when you acquire a rental using other people's money, you don't put your own money in the deal. Suddenly, that is a totally different mindset and shift in perspective. Of course, I'm interested in buying another rental. Of course, I want to buy five rentals, right? How much money was in of my money was in the first deal? None. So if I want to buy five rentals, I still don't need to use my own money. If I want to buy 50 rentals, I don't need to use my own money. Just that shift in perspective opens up opportunity so that you can have that mind shift of how to acquire properties continually and build the portfolio. So that's number one. Make sure you know how to structure deals not using your own money, no matter how much money you have in the bank. If you have 100 grand sitting there, that's great. You still want to structure deals correctly using other people's money. Number two, the second reason that I see people stall at one rental is because they don't have good management systems in place. Every step of the way, they're trying to figure it out on their own. And so, renovations, dealing with a contractor, that's one thing. All of a sudden, they feel this relief. Oh, the renovations are done now. I can rent it and start actually making money. How do I lease a property? How do I advertise the property? Now I've got applications coming in. How do I decide who a good applicant is? How do I run a background check? What criteria do I use? How do I collect money? Right? If you don't have systems in place and benefit from somebody else who's already developed those systems, it's just one headache after another. And then if you don't have systems in place for how your tenant should relate to you as a property manager, notice I did not say as an owner, as a property manager, you're going to have consistent stresses with your tenant, right? If you don't tell them how to communicate with you, why would they not call you at 3 a.m. when they're awake and they're thinking of the problem with the house? You have to explain how they should communicate with you. It should be by text. It should be through a website, not your cell phone, so that you don't deal with it when you don't want to deal with it, right? But you have to explain that to them. So that's the second reason. They get in, they get that first rental, and they see just consistent headaches with the tenant. Now, if you're around some investor groups, you're going to hear the tenants are so bad. Tenants do this wrong. Tenants do that wrong. And the vast majority of the time, that is because that investor did not explain to the tenant how they should interact with the company, right? They didn't set the tenant up for success. So when you have a good management system, good process, you automatically know how to list that property. You know what a good tenant is and who qualifies and who doesn't. You explain to the tenant how they should pay their rent, how they should communicate, how they submit work orders. All of that is pre-planned. That way you can present it to your tenant on the front end when they move in, and now they're set up for success. They know how to be successful. They know how to be a good tenant in your process. And that reduces the headaches, right? They're paying on time. They know there's consequences if they don't. They communicate the way you want. They know what to submit as a work request. They know when they're going to have to pay for the work to be done and when you complete the work because it's necessary, normal maintenance. All of that is clarified on the front end. So if you understand how to structure deals correctly using other people's money, and there are a few ways to do that, and you have a management system in place so that you automatically know how to be successful and how to set your tenants up for success, you are on the right path. You will not stall at one rental. You'll be able to scale to 5, 10, the number that you want. All right. I hope that helps. As always, share, like, follow. I appreciate it. If there's somebody you know who's maybe bought one rental and they're a little frustrated and they would benefit from this, share this episode with them as well. I want to help more people, help them be successful. All right. Until next week, keep building your dream life one door at a time. I have a really good gift for you to help you out. So, in recent episodes, we've talked about some really great partnerships we have that will help any of you get motivated seller leads, right? So, you'll get a text when they get the lead and they'll just give that lead to you. Or we have a direct mail partner who will help with direct mail to make sure you can reach the people that you want and get those leads contacting you. Okay, great services, don't cost any extra. Just make sure that your marketing is impactful and you get a return on your money. All right. So the gift isn't related to those. The gift is that some people are kind of nervous by the idea, those services are great, but now I get a seller on the phone and what do I do? What do I say? Right? And it's kind of intimidating. Everybody, when they get started, feels a little intimidated or nervous by it. And really, you just need a script so that you know what things to talk about with the seller on the phone. You don't have to think about it. You just follow the script, have a human conversation, with the seller, take an interest in them, and follow the script. Just that easy. All right. And so the benefits of the script are you don't get distracted in the conversation. You can just follow the progression of that script, makes it super easy, can give you confidence so that you know what to say when, and it actually helps that seller know that you're professional and serious and you know what you're talking about. All right. So you can get that script at truewealthinvestors.com/call script, and that will give you the free download so you can have that script. Then when that seller calls, you know exactly what to say. All right. I hope that helps, and I know it will. See you soon. We are adding new episodes every week, so make sure and subscribe and check out all of our content at truewealthinvestors.com.